By the way, Matt Damon is generally included in the homies, but I think he's shooting a Dunkin' Donuts commercial right now.
Hi, Vanity Fair. I'm Emily Blunt.
Hello, Vanity Fair. I'm Cillian Murphy.
Ooh.
I'm Robert Downey Jr., and we're going to give you the entire oral history of the cinematic masterpiece, Oppenheimer.
Chris, he generally tends to just call me out of the blue, or Emma Thomas, his wife and producer, calls me because Chris doesn't possess a phone or a computer or an email. What he always does, though, I think that people know this now, is that he flies to wherever you are and gives you the actual script himself in person. And it's always printed on red paper with black ink. And it's like it was a tome, it was a doorstopper of a thing.
In the Marvel days, everything was watermarked and they had dummy scripts and phony things. So you remember all those days to keep it from you. And then Chris is just like, I want to just make this impossible for anyone to ever read except the people I'm asking to read it.
Yeah.
By the way, it's so hard to read a script on red paper with black type. I suggest any of you try it.
So private in a lovely way. It's just the coolest. Just usually everything, everyone's in the know, and your agents and your team, and all the producers know, and you're being discussed by people. There's sort of the chatter and the noise around putting a project together, and this feels really distinctive and calm and private and peaceful.
And reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing I should say as well is that every time Chris has called me, I've always said yes before I've read the script. So it's just a formality reading the script. When we discussed it on the phone, I knew it was a huge part. Well, I've always said this, I need to feel intimidated by work. It needs to feel dangerous or impossible for me. If it feels like I know how to play that, I'm not really interested. It needs to feel like a huge leap, and this was one of the biggest leaps.
It's a sort of wild combination of like abandonment working with him, and also knowing that you're going to have the screws tightened on you as an actor to such a degree that it becomes one of the most thrilling experiences of your life.
We had a long prep period. We had 6 months. I was going from the outside in, which was trying to get the physicality and trying to get the walk and the voice and all of that. And then there was an interior thing going on, which was all this sort of research and this sort of, I suppose, the intellectual sort of side of it.
What was the thing Chris told you about David Bowie?
That was just some little thing he just dropped in the mix at one point. He sent me a picture of him. I think it was during the Thin White Duke era, when he was so cool, but so slim. And he had those beautiful high-waisted pleated tailored trousers, and he had the coat and the jacket and the hat. And it was just, because Bowie is always creating his own iconography and his own aura. Do you know what I mean?
And he struggled to figure out how is he going to break in. He felt very much like an outsider.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he went from the outside in, and then the inside.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. And I think that's probably where there was some sort of crossover. It doesn't seem logical or obvious in any way. He began to find himself and design his own sort of aura. And you see it in the movie, when we do that little montage, he puts the hat and the pipe, and he just becomes this character.
You want to talk about a story where the stakes are high. The stakes are the future of Western civilization. And so that a lot of my prep was just recognizing that all these people are taking place in a story where the fate of humanity rested on the decisions they made. So when there's these complicated relationships, I'm reading the script and I'm going, man, their marriage has to work, broken as it is, because we won't survive. It was just all that stuff. So it was so implicit in his writing.
It's always a bit scary. Like, I remember the first time we read a scene in front of him, and I was so scared because we both decided to do quite a specific voice for them. I remember finishing the scene, you went, yeah. Great, okay. And that was it. And you're like, oh, thank God, That means I think he really likes it.
And I think every single crew member, every single actor wants to be on a Chris Nolan set. We were discussing this. It's a little bit of a letdown when you go onto another set. No disrespect to every director in the world, but that efficiency, that's like real rigorous efficiency that happens. And like Robert was saying, that just there's a lot of wasted time, wasted money it surrounds our industry. Like, everybody knows that. It's legendarily so. But with Chris, it isn't. And you just go straight to the work. And I think the reason he collaborates a lot with people is that he likes to do that thing where it's just the work.
There are all these legends about what it's like on a Christopher Nolan set, and you've hinted at some of them, like lack of chairs. Is that a real thing?
I mean, there's an apple box around now.
Occasionally there's an apple box.
Park your booty on an apple box.
Human resources are scarce. And the idea is that this is a Spartan endeavor. And also, I think that Chris, from all the films he's done, he deplores waste.
Yes.
He is a conservationist of the highest order.
Like all this stuff is, this kind of convention has developed around film sets that is kind of crackers, like that people are on their phone. Why would you be on your phone on a film set? It doesn't make any sense. There's no video village, there's no monitors, all of these things that just are the norm now. But why do we need them? If the director knows exactly what he,
it's what Matt said. Not everything's happening in front of the camera. Everything is happening in front of the camera. There is no budget for anything that's not happening in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, if I see Chris Nolan, I throw my phone. And this is even when we're not shooting.
Still to this day.
Yes. If you see him, just put your phone down. And he doesn't even really like it when you go to the bathroom, but he understands you have to.
Yeah.
And I asked him, dude, when do you go? And he goes, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. And I was like, are you fucking with me?
And he drinks so much tea.
I know, but it's not a diuretic tea.
No, it's not.
Because
Clearly.
he won't do anything. He won't ask anyone to do anything that he's not 1,000% willing to do himself twice as hard.
That's it. I remember we were doing a scene on Dunkirk. Do you remember that scene where my character is found on the bow of this sunken vessel?
Yeah.
I remember all the Marine guys and all the stunt guys were very unsure about me getting up there. It was very kind of bad weather. And Chris was like, okay, I'll get up there. So he got up there, did it all, and they checked it out with him doing it. And then he was like, okay, put Cillian up there then. That's just one example. There's so many of them. I love our scene where you find me.
Yes.
By the rocks, yeah.
Yeah.
Pull yourself together.
People here depend on you.
It's also because we kind of knew we were losing the light. Like, it was just that sort of simmer of tension on set where you're like, ooh, and you see it was just
We shot it so fast.
so fast.
Yeah.
And Chris wants to keep that at bay, but you could kind of feel it. Just sort of, we needed to get it. He'd already shot 5 scenes before it.
But the way it's important for me, or significant for me, is I suppose I knew that we had to get to a place in that scene, just emotionally for the story, for their story together to work.
To
particularly.
ratchet it up so intensely and
But
so fast.
I could not have done it with anybody else other than Emily. There is no way that I could have got to that place without you in that scene, you know. And to be able to lock into
I
that.
slapped the shit out of you.
And he cut it out.
Exactly.
He cut it out. But it was just one of those. It was one of those scenes where you need to have that level of trust with the actor you're working with and with the director. That you can go straight to it.
There's a scene after he doesn't get his appointment.
Oh.
I'm denied. Yeah?
I'm afraid so, sir.
All right.
All the veneer has to come down. You have to see who's kind of been running the show the whole time. And I'm there, and it's me and Alden and Scott Grimes. We blocked it, and then it kind of made more sense, and he gave me a little more room. And then we did it. And I thought I had it, and I was like, all right, now I'm getting tired. I think we had it. And he goes, we may have it, we may not, but no, I know. I may have got something else in you. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, you don't. I don't.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh. Anyway, it was one of those things where he was like, I'm sorry, but we didn't come this far for me to let you off the hook. Even if there's nothing left to find, we still have time. I'm not rushing. And by the way, I'm not trying to shoot tomorrow today. I'm just trying to shoot today. So you're fucked until we're done.
Until you bring it.
No, and it was great. And I feel like it was a big moment of like, I have to break through this inherent, whatever our own lazy meter is, it's in there somewhere. And that's the thing you have to find in a race to grow.
That scene is
Stop my heart.
masterful.
Stop my heart.
It feels more like a celebration of the work,
Yeah.
than, when you're promoting something. It's a 3-hour R-rated picture about a physicist, Then this phenomenon happens and it connects with audiences in a way that we could never, ever, ever have anticipated.
The film kind of went out there and went into its adolescence and its own maturity, and we just had to kind of just reconnect with each other. So, you know, we were trying to hook up or FaceTime. I was going up to see you and Kraz at your pad. We just kind of like tried to socially reintegrate the enormity of
like drink again in the Cotswolds in England.
Yeah, baby. I love an indulgent set. I love choppering into a Avengers backlot. I just think it's great. I love the whole conspicuous consumption. But the Chris Nolan way is not for the faint of heart. So it's nice because you wind up knowing what you're made of when you're done working for him.
Yeah.
We like making Dad proud.
Yeah. Best dad ever. Thanks for watching. If you haven't seen Oppenheimer twice, go see it again. You're going to love it. Thanks, Vanity Fair.
Thank you.
Nice one.
Wow, that
Nice one.
was quite a set.
Yeah, man.